So I think we can all agree Mortal Kombat 2 isn't a great movie, but as a fan of the games, it's a pretty good Mortal Kombat movie. Comparing it to the last one, this sequel is not only more entertaining, but it's also way more accurate to the source material. Seeing characters like Johnny Cage and Katana at the forefront really took me back to the good old days of MK9's story mode. Not to mention the recreations of the arenas and even the fight choreography showed just how much attention to detail was put into this film. There were a lot of great fights, but anyone will tell you that the Liu Kang and Kung Lao match was the peak of what these movies can deliver. But like many other recent video game movies that rely on fan service, there isn't much care given to the character arcs and story progression to make this a worthwhile watch for people who aren't fans of the games. That being said, Mortal Kombat 3 is already in the works, so let's talk about what fans are wanting to see in the sequel. With MK2 ending with Earthrealm surviving champions planning to invade Netherrealm to resurrect their dead friends, I think it's safe to say Shinnok, the ruler of Netherrealm, will be the next main villain. This would fall in line with the rebooted game series timeline, starting at MK9, since after Shao Kahn was defeated, Shinnok was teased as the next big bad for MKX. I think that's a good move since Shinnok's strength comes more from manipulation and magic powers than brute strength, which would distinguish him well from Shao Kahn. With Quan Chi usually being Shinnok's right-hand man, I hope we also get to see him in a more active role, because as of right now, he seemed too nerfed compared to how strong of a villain he is in the games. On the hero side, one of the most fan-requested characters is Kenshi, a blind telekinetic swordsman that, yeah, is as cool as he sounds. After all that hate Cole Young got in the first movie for being the only original character created just for the films, people are clamoring for him to be resurrected as Kenshi after his death in MK2. Other than Louis Tan being perfect casting for Kenshi, it doesn't really make sense lore-wise for Tan's role to be swapped like that, but I think having Kenshi show up in any shape or form would be a great addition nonetheless. I remember thinking how cool he was when he was just a DLC character in MK9, and then loving how he was actually a core member of the cast in the next game's story. It would also make sense to introduce Kenshi at this point, since if the film franchise continues, his son Takeda eventually becomes an important part of the Earthrealm team, along with the kids of the other heroes. Another thing fans are expecting to see is the introduction of the Cyber Initiative. If you don't know, the Cyber Initiative is a program within Sub-Zero's ninja clan designed to transform their human assassins into cyborgs, stripping them of their humanity so that they become more obedient and efficient killers. The most prolific of these cyborgs being Cyrax and Sector, who coincidentally first appeared in the MK3 video game. I could definitely see Cyrax having a cool arc in the movie, since he's the one who still clings onto his humanity and sometimes even joins the heroes, while Sector is the more cutthroat loyalist to his clan.
I eliminated him from the tournament. He didn't need to die.
You have broken your oath.
I used my judgment.
Not to mention, this whole thing opens the door to introducing Cyber Sub-Zero if they want to continue to bring him back in a different form each movie. Also cyber related, I'm surprised that we've gone 2 movies now without Kano getting his iconic cybernetic eye.
Kano wins.
Now, there are a bunch more fan-favorite characters that could be in the movie, like Smoke, Rain, Striker, Nightwolf. Seeing Katana's father be resurrected into Ermac would be cool narratively, but something I think that we desperately still need from these movies is more chemistry between the cast. The MK games naturally have more of that flavor, because in order to set up the variety of fight matchups in the story mode, you're exposed to a variety of different character interactions. The obvious one being Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, who have this banter that eventually develops into a romantic relationship. A relationship that's non-existent in the MK2 movie. The result is a bunch of characters that look and fight cool without much depth under the surface. Watching video game Raiden cry over having to murder Liu Kang to save the world is a stark contrast to them barely even speaking in the movies. But if fan service is all they care about, then can we at least get some alternative fatalities? I'm talking Animalities, Friendships, Babalities, those comedic finishers that are iconic to Mortal Kombat. I think at the very least an Animality would feel tonally consistent, since it's a fatality that's conventional enough to still end with someone getting brutally killed. But yeah, thanks for watching, and comment down below what you'd want to see in the next Mortal Kombat movie.